Hey everybody, it's Dave Isaacs here. It's been a little while since I added to the Essential Songs video series, so I thought this would be a good time to get it started again. This is a song that I've been teaching quite a bit lately because it's a great way to lead from playing simple chords into adding some melody simply by manipulating a few fingers. We're taking a look today at Pink Floyd's Wish You Were Here, and I want to walk you through the basic chords first. These are variations on chords you already know. Now we're going to start with the familiar E minor chord. I finger this with middle and ring most of the time, but we're going to come up with a variation. Some of you may use index and middle to play E minor. That's what we're going to need to do today, because we need to free up the ring and pinky fingers to cover the first and second strings at the 3rd fret. So now I have 4 fingers down, and this is creating what we would call an E minor 7th. We've added a D, this note on the 2nd string 3rd fret, which is the 7th, minor 7th of E. And then the pinky is on a double G. It's an octave above the open G string that you're already playing. Now, I've mentioned before in these Essential Songs videos that I am not offering these as transcriptions. This is my interpretation of what's going on based on what I hear, what I see, and what I know. But I am not going to swear to what I'm showing you being the exact thing that was played. However, watching some video of David Gilmour playing this, I have concluded, and I'm pretty confident, that that E minor 7th chord is actually played like this, as a 4-string chord. So rather than holding down index and middle on 5 and 4, I'm just going to hold index on the 2nd fret of string 4, leaving my middle finger free, and holding down ring and pinky on the 3rd fret of the 2nd and 1st strings. So E minor is like this, E minor 7, sorry, and I'm muffling out the A string with the side of my index finger because I do want to be able to hit low E. But in looking at the song, I'm pretty confident, like I said, that this is the chord that's being used. Now we're going to go from here to the familiar 4-finger G. So this is with ring and pinky staying on that 3rd fret of those 2 highest pitched strings, and index and middle landing here on string 6, fret 3, string 5, fret 2. So we're going to go from this E minor 7 to this G. Then we do it again, and back. We do it again. And this time we're going to an A7 sus4, and we're going to get there just by adding the middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. Ring and pinky stay put again, and then we strum 5 strings. So this is an A7 sus4. We have the open A, the 5th, the octave, the sus4 on the 3rd string, and the high 7th. And then we go back to our E minor 7, just lifting that middle finger, and then adding it back in for the A7 suspended, and then into our 4-finger G. So the chords without the melody line are 4-string E minor 7, 4-finger G, back to the E minor 7, back to the G, back to the E minor 7, A7 suspended, E minor 7, A7 suspended, and back to our G. Now the melody part comes straight out of those chords. We could start with the ring finger holding this G formation on that 3rd fret of the 6th string. Now, listening closely to the recording, I'm actually pretty confident that this note is not played at the beginning of the song, but it's going to be played again and again. So I might as well just introduce that now. And the lick we're going to play walks up an E minor pentatonic or a G major pentatonic, depending on how you look at it. We're landing on an E minor chord, so we'll call it E minor, but it does start on G. It doesn't really matter, it's the same scale, we're just starting in different places. 6th string, 3rd fret. hammer with the index finger, 5th string open to 2nd fret, then hit the open 4th string and land on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. Timing is this: 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. Now, important detail, that hammer-on is in time. In other words, it's a measured 16th note. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1. So make sure that you don't hammer it like this. A lot of people, when they're learning how to do hammer-ons, don't manage to make the distinction between a hammer-on that is not timed, where the first note is a grace note with no time value of its own, and where it is timed, where both notes have a duration, in this case a 16th note. 4 E and 1. Now there's a rhythm there that's being used, and it's going to be used consistently throughout the intro of the song. Notice the strum that I play on the E minor 7. 1 and 2 and up, up. Now notice that I landed on a single note. This is the 4th string, 2nd fret, and that's going to start this lick coming out of the chord. 4th string 2nd, open 3rd, back to the 4th string 2nd, open 4th. So it's 2, 0 on the next string, back to 2, 0 on the same string. Notice the timing from the original lick. 1 and 2 E and 3 E and. So you don't actually strum much. 1 and 2 E and up, and then down, up, bass, down. That rhythm is going to recur, like I said. Up, up, down, up, and then again. 1 and 2 E and 3 E and 2 and 3 and. Now, new lick. Down, up, up. We're heading into that A7 suspended, so I land on the 2nd fret of the D string, as we've been, go to the open D, 2nd fret of the A string, open A, and then right into the A7 suspended, and then the lick is back here again. Open, 2nd fret, open, and then that little hammer-on is 2nd fret of the 5th string, open string, land on the G. Here's the whole thing. Down, up, 1 and 2, up, ba, 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 down, up, down. Notice how ring and pink never lifted. Chords for the vocal part of the song. C, strum. I'm being fairly general about this, but we just want to feel a quarter note pulse. A minor, G, and 2, and 3, and 4, E, and D, and 3, and 4, and C. And walk down, using the middle finger just to grab this passing bass note, but it's not essential. A minor, and back to G. Now I was using this version of G. It would make sense to use this one too. I'm not swearing to which one it is. Listen to it, see if you can figure it out. Here are the chord changes once again. C. Same for the verse and the chorus. D. A minor. G. D. C. And a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and A minor. Now, I think it's important that you can sit down and listen to the song and try to pick out some of those strum patterns yourself. You may find that when you start really listening closely, you have an easier time than you expected you would figuring out what's actually going on there. Once you have a basic framework, recognize that the strum relates to the groove, the overall feel of the song. It's a slow song. We feel this quarter note pulse about here. 2 and 3 and 4. I'm articulating the eighth notes, but what your body feels is quarter, quarter, quarter. And so a song like that can work just fine. And I'm moving it along by adding in and a 2 and a 3, but not every time. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. There's all kinds of variations you can come up with in terms of when you hit the upstrokes. But just keep in mind that you really could do this. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. And what I tend to do, and this is more or less what's going on the recording, is I'm keeping my hand moving, I'm articulating the quarter notes strongly and filling in the sixteenths, the up downs, as I feel it. Notice how the upstroke kind of moves us forward. A 3, a 4, and a 1, and a 2. If I do them all the time, it's too much. Or rather, the and every time. Just a little 1, and a 2, and a 3. That's not the right feeling. But if we... And notice how the right hand, the strumming hand, bounces. And a 2, and a 3. So you can count and move the hand, but I'm strumming on and a. 1, and a 2, and a 3. That's a nice way to move it forward. But listen to the song, see how much you can pick up. And keep in mind too that, like I said, the strum relates to the groove. So you listen to the rhythm section. What are the drums doing? How does the strummed acoustic guitar relate to the drum part? And when you start really looking at that in any song that has a strumming part, you'll see how closely related those things are. And even how if there's a part where the guitar is strumming and there are no drums, listening to what the drums do when they do kick in gives you a sense of the feel of the song. So there is a link below with a basic tab. Like I said, I'm not claiming this is the authoritative version of the song, but it's certainly enough to get it into your fingers. Like I said, it's a great song. It's a very popular song. I'm amazed by how many people who were born 20 years after the thing came out or more know that song. So it has real staying power, as a great song does. So between the video and the tab, you should certainly have what you need to play a basic version of the song. And if you want to take it further, I thoroughly encourage you to watch other videos, listen to the song, watch video of David Gilmour playing it, go to the source. And, you know, as always with YouTube, you have to collect your information from different sources. It's good to get different people's opinions. Don't just go by mine, because like I said, I'm not claiming to be authoritative. But do your research and do a lot of listening. Your ears will tell you what makes sense to you. And the funny thing is, you may find that your interpretation of what's right changes from one day to another. But that's part of the fluidity of this. There's obviously an absolute. There is a thing that was played on that recording. But there are variations within that all the time. And all good players, or most good players, tend to add in some variation as they play, just naturally as a matter of course. This is something you do want to develop. So if you're at the stage where learning songs right now has to be about memorizing a particular sequence of events, that's fine. But recognize that your growth is going to take you to a point where you memorize the basic idea and have a sense of various possibilities, variations that you could play within that. And a good way to do that sometimes is just to learn one version of the song. So say you're doing this strum. Then practice adding in 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4, 1 and a 2 and a 3, and then maybe leaving out the and. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. And then after that, maybe adding in some more strums at the end of the measure to kick things forward. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and 1 and a 2 and 3. As I said at the beginning, though, the strum on that intro section is consistent. There's a strum he plays on the E minor and a strum he plays on the second chord G, back to the E minor with the original strum, the strum on the G, back to the E minor with the original strum. Strum on the A is the same as the strum on the G. So I'm going to play through that intro one more time. I want you to pay attention to the strum and the way that it relates to the pick notes. That should give you the foundation that you need. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. You can download the tab below. And I'll be adding to the Essential Songs series again. I need to get this started. I know it's been a popular thing, and I appreciate everybody that's been watching the videos, commenting, following, liking. So keep watching. I'll be back soon.